We welcome you once again to the Brattlecast. This is Jordan Rich. Always a pleasure to be with my good friend Ken Gloss, proprietor of the famous Brattle bookshop in Boston, brattlebookshop.com. And oftentimes people come in, they take pictures outside, inside, just for fun. But sometimes you have a professional team coming in, and you said you recently had that happen.
We sometimes they're not so professional. One of the things that's happened at the store, and when I stop and think about this, it's really, I don't know. I don't know how to say it, that people want to come to the store in Boston, and if they want to shoot a scene in Boston they think other people would like, that signifies Boston and so on. We get a lot of people more and more coming in and saying, "Can we shoot something in your lot, particularly the outside next to the store, where if it's not raining or snowing all year, we have books out there," or they maybe want to shoot inside. And we've had movies like The Holdovers recently, at the Prudential Center in Boston. They have a introductory film to Boston. They shot it here. We recently, today, had a major hotel come in, and they want to have some videos of the area in Boston for their website and for their promotional purposes. And the fact that we're one of four places they're filming, I know one of them is going to be over the Charles River of community boating with sailboats in the Charles. And fortunately, today was a bright sunny day, so that will look good. I don't know what the other two are, but I consider it a real honor. But not only is it an honor, we love it when they'll come in and using us on their promotional video, because it's a free ad for us.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the things that happens a lot is we'll get people say, "Well, we want to do a free promotional thing for you." And you got to ask and be careful, because sometimes the promotional thing is free, the production is what they're really selling.
Like
But
shipping and handling charges.
right,
Right.
but we get regular calls, and they go anywhere from professional teams that are really good, and this was the Hollywood Holdovers. They were great. But the first thing we always ask is, how many people are coming? How much time do you need? What kind of equipment are you using? Do you need to plug in or have it? And also insurance and so on. And you find that the ones that are really good and professional, that they get in, everything is easy done and so on. And you can sort of tell the ones that maybe aren't as quite. But going from this professional to students, because we're very close to Emerson College, Suffolk College, Boston University, and they all have, and even sometimes Berkeley, they have film departments. And of course, for the end of the year projects, a lot of times they have to do filming. And it's interesting because, they're students, a lot of them. And it's really amazing how, even from the initial, that you can tell, boy, this person might be a really great filmmaker sometime. And the other times you go, whoa, what do they think? When we get a call, we usually say send an email, just so that we make sure. But we'll get a call, and a student will call, and we'll say, well, how many people? They'll go, well, we have a cast of 15. And then we'll go, well, when did you want to do this? Well, we thought Sunday, because you're not open. And we go, yeah, we're not open. And in order to open, of course, we'd have to have 2 or 3 employees on overtime. So we usually, if they're not great students, it just doesn't work. A lot of times they'll say, well, okay, can we come with 3 or 4 on a Saturday morning and get it done? And of course, we want to help students. We want them to remember the place. Matter of fact, who knows? Maybe that student will be winning Academy
You
Awards.
never know. I have a question for you, a technical one. Do you suggest release forms for, say, any of your employees, or if a customer gets caught in a shot or whatever? That's something that we do in the media world sometimes.
Well, not only do we do that, but we tell the whatever the companies are, professional ones, you don't have as much problem. They either outright 100% avoid a customer in the background, or they have release forms there with them. students, you've got to be a lot more. And we say, look, you cannot take a customer. You can go up and ask that customer, and if they don't mind, fine, work that out, especially if it's outside. Because if it's outside, it's a little more public area. But no, that's one of the things we tell them right off the bat. Uh, we don't want you walking up to interview people. Uh, don't bother them, but
Mhm.
definitely be aware who's in the background. But we're fairly strict about that for two reasons. First of all, it's the right thing, and you
Absolutely.
don't want someone in it.
Right.
Second of all, especially for students, the whole thing is a learning experience, and and you don't want them with that. So but we also look at it. These films get shown in their classes. So even the rest of the class and the professors see these when they come out. Occasionally we see a few of them. They'll drop them to us. And it's a lot of fun sometimes, although like I say, almost instantly you can tell who the good students are, who they're not.
Of course, we're living in an era of Photoshop and AI, so the pros can literally erase somebody from the picture, Stalin-esque in its sense, but but they can
Right.
do it electronically these days, which makes it a
Exactly.
lot.
And then the other thing that really has so all of this we look at as a boon to the business.
Hmm.
Now, when the Hollywood movie company came in, it's a lot more, it's a contract, a lot more involved, and they pay. And quite honestly, if we could every day have a Hollywood movie shooting here at what they paid, we'd be very happy and
Uh,
even more successful.
Absolutely,
Uh,
they do have a budget for that kind of thing.
Now, when something like View Boston, which is at the Prudential, or this one that the hotel was doing, we consider it, gee, it's free advertising in a prominent place. That's fine. Just do it well. When students do it, obviously, we don't charge them, but we do make sure that they have the insurance releases, that they have all the forms filled out perfectly. And more that is just the learning experience. And one of our managers, her partner is a location manager for movies. And so we know on the background how all that works. And again, we sometimes will give the students tips and so on. But that's also good. And the other way that really helps us and this isn't so much photo shoots, but in a nice day, or actually almost any day, if the sun's out or it's not raining or snowing, people are outside all day long with their cell phones, taking pictures of the lot, maybe taking short videos. I mean, without asking, which is perfectly fine with us, and then posting it on Instagram or whatever the
Hmm.
platforms. And, we never did that intentionally, but it's, I think, one of the reasons that probably the average age of our customer is 30 or 40 years younger than it used to be.
No doubt, Ken. Absolutely. I mean, Instagram, TikTok, all of the various social media platforms, because it's instantaneous, and they have followers, and those followers have followers, and you become a very important algorithm.
Now, one of the things we appreciate when people are doing things, if they're doing in the store, we almost never say anything. But if they come and ask first, we appreciate the fact that they'll ask. But it's one of the ways that I'm very, very conscious at the store that we're well known. But one of the reasons we're well known is my father used to do radio, TV shows, newspapers. He was a character. I do a lot of lecturing. I do interviews. I do the podcast, which obviously helps. And although the store is well known, I never assume that it will stay well known. In other words, people forget really fast. Give
Mm.
it a year, give it 2 years, 3 years, and if people would forget. So all of these professional companies that are great to work with, the um, the student companies, or even just the amateurs taking pictures, they're basically helping us. And the fact that they consider us a place they want to show to other people is fabulous. Now, one of the things that I haven't done at the store, we've also had 3 weddings out in the lot, and
Wow.
we've had a whole bunch of proposals. And I suppose we don't charge, well, I don't want to get too many requests, but we don't charge people. We consider it an honor also that they want to get taken. They send us sometimes pictures of that the photographer takes. I mean, they're weddings that are like 5, 10 people at the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
But I've always been tempted to say, gee, would you mind if we called down a radio station, a TV station, or so on? But so far,
You,
the
you,
next one I might do that.
you've got the makings of a reality show. You never know.
Well, or
Get
just
married by the book, as they say, right?
yeah, well, it would be fun, and it's an honor in many ways that people want to photograph us, that want to set their advertising or set their movies or just show us off, and it's tremendously helpful to us, and it's a great ego boost for me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pride in what you do. That's why you keep using the word honor. Ken, remarkable. So many great stories in and outside the store and behind the scenes. You've been listening to the Brattlecast. We can't wait to chat with you again, my friend. Thank you.
And I will say, if you want to film, just get in touch with us first. And if you want to get married, definitely get in touch with us first.
Yeah, but ask the prospective bride first if she's going to go along.
Yes, ask first, make sure it's going to go. I remember going to, this is an aside, but going to Fenway Park where they used to do those proposals on the
Oh,
big
yes, I
screen.
know where you're going with this.
And I was at one where she obviously said no and got really upset. Ask first and then set it up.
You've been listening to the Brattlecast with Ken Gloss. I'm Jordan Rich. Have a great day.